What's up everyone, welcome back to another What If video. Last time, we covered Resurrection F and saw how it changed here. Gohan faced Frieza, with Broly and Goku then coming in to help. All the while, Vegeta arrived elsewhere with Tarble, after being revived as a gift. Not only will this lead us into the Universe 6 tournament, but it will also begin an entirely new arc here, and I'm not talking about the Goku Black arc. For this video, let's set a like goal of 2,500 likes, and once we hit that, I'll continue this scenario with another part. Without further ado, let's pick up from here. After the encounter with Frieza, Gohan is trying to get Broly's anger under control after what he saw before. He has massive potential, and if Broly can somehow learn to get his rage under control, he will be crazy powerful. Also, he won't accidentally destroy Earth while he's at it. While Goku's off planet, the two of them focus on training like this. All the while, Tarble is also trying to get his brother's anger under control. See the little parallels there? Vegeta is pretty heated, and he wants to find Kakarot immediately, but Tarble goes against it. He barely saw Gohan, but his power was incomprehensible from what he remembers. He has some Super Saiyan God thing, and his scouter wouldn't even pick up the power that Gohan was showing. Tarble assumes that Goku might have something similar by now. He has no bad blood against them, but he knows Vegeta does. Vegeta's just confused. Super what? He's heard of Super Saiyan, but what the hell's a Super Saiyan God? He feels like he's heard that in passing before, but that can't actually be a thing, can it? Angered, Vegeta realizes that he can't effectively train here on the planet that Tarble's on, so he decides to leave, dragging his brother along with him. Tarble is not a fighter, but whatever. He doesn't want to go against Vegeta and piss him off, and he wants to see if he could try and calm him down at the very least. He doesn't want Vegeta fighting anyone. I mean, the two of them are free from the Frieza Force now. They could have a peaceful life on this planet, but Vegeta's obviously not interested in that. He wants revenge. Looks like Tarble might get a bit of training too as he tries to convince his brother to stop it. Vegeta plans his revenge on Kakarot and Earth, as Tarble tries his best to calm him down. But then, Tarble picks up something odd in his scouter. He's kept the scouter because it is useful at times, but he notices that it still has communication with the Frieza Force, or at least what remains of it. Frieza apparently was revived, and he died again. And now the entire army is a mess. This gets Vegeta thinking. The Frieza Force is gone, and his army is open for the taking. It's a perfect plan for Vegeta. Tarble sighs knowing that he can't change his brother's mind, as Vegeta begins coming up with ideas at light speed. Back on Earth, Gohan is still training with Broly, while he's also trying to help him get adjusted to Earth life. I mean, Gohan isn't training 24/7. He has work, family, and all too, and it's good to get Broly used to the planet. Goku then makes a surprise visit with Beerus and Whis, surprising the two of them. Apparently a tournament's been planned, and they need members. Well, it's pretty easy deciding who to pick. I mean, there's obviously Goku, then Gohan and Broly. Piccolo is another easy option, and finally, Goten's chosen because Goku thinks that this might be a nice experience for him. With the team set, Goku decides he's going to train in the Room of Spirit and Time, and invites anyone to join him in there. Gohan can't take a whole 3 days to train in there, because he still does have work and all, so Broly goes in with Goku. Goten ends up training a bit with Piccolo while Gohan is back at work, with Gohan joining in occasionally. But he's mostly at work because he has to make up for whatever time he'll miss by being at the tournament. But at least he was able to reschedule his meetings and stuff. Let's be honest here though, the tournament stuff is getting a little bit repetitive covering it in every video. I mean, I'm still going to cover it here, but I'm more so going to skim through it because I want to focus on the new arc that's going to happen after the tournament. So apologies that I'm going to cover it kind of briefly, but I do want to save time for the more important and original stuff. Anywho, the tournament begins with Botamo versus Goten. That's kind of a meme in my videos placing Goten against Botamo. It was purely unintentional, but a lot of people pointed that out that whenever Goten is in this tournament, he always ends up being the first one to fight Botamo. I guess it's an inside joke now. Anyways, Goten vs Botamo has an obvious winner, that being Goten. Next up he faces Frost. And regardless if Frost uses the poison needles or not, I don't feel that this is something Goten can win. Well, I mean, Frost is going to use the poison needles here, he's a dirty cheater. But I'm mentioning briefly because this is where he kind of gets out of his league. And after him, Piccolo goes up against Frost. Not too much changes about this fight. The fight itself goes similar to normal, and it has the poison needles being revealed. And when everyone finds out that Frost is cheating, Piccolo's back in because there's no Vegeta here to interfere, meaning that he goes up next against Vegeta. And once again, not too much changes about this fight. Besides the fact that Piccolo is facing Vegeta instead of Vegeta, the structure of the fight is very similar, with Vegeta taking absolutely no damage at first, and then everyone figures out what his weakness is, and Piccolo's able to yell some insults which gets him out of the ring. 2 easy dubs in a row for Piccolo. I mean, his first fight, the guy gets disqualified, and his second fight, he just has to be mean. He's on a roll here. But his streak is about to end as he faces Cabba. So obviously Cabba's not going to be able to learn Super Saiyan here because Piccolo's fighting him. However, the thing here is that Cabba, I feel, would win this fight. Cabba is surprisingly strong. He was around the level of base Vegeta at this point. I feel this would be a pretty close battle, but Cabba would pull ahead in the end. both because Cabba's probably stronger than Piccolo, and because Piccolo might be a little tired out from his 2 previous battles, despite their underwhelming conclusions. This then leads to Broly facing Cabba. First of all, I feel like Broly probably wouldn't be able to teach Cabba about Super Saiyan, since he doesn't really seem like the teacher type, and also, he overpowers Cabba. And this is where he actually shows off something interesting that he learned from his training in the Room of Spirit and Time. With perfect mastery, he uses his wrathful form that he showed off against Frieza, as he and Goku were able to finally get it under control. But this is still only a fraction of Broly's full power, and he's able to win against Cabba, but next he'll be up against Hit and he's going to face a real challenge. Immediately against Hit, he goes into his wrathful state, and the beginning of this fight really goes to show how much he's learned from Goku. His attacks and martial arts skills are way more refined. Instead of basic punches, kicks, and ki blasts, he's actually developed a fighting style and could do it pretty well. However, Hit is still able to outpace him, but the good thing is that Broly didn't stop at wrathful. I mean, with all the training he's had with Goku, that is definitely not his limit. Powering up, Broly then reveals that he has access to Super Saiyan, with full control as well. Broly's attacks have a lot more punch behind them, but Broly still can't land too many hits on him, because Hit still has his time skip to utilize. So this gets Broly thinking. The issue here is that Hit is dodging all his attacks, so why not launch an attack that he can't dodge at all? Broly then sends off one of his signature moves, a Blaster Meteor, which completely engulfs the arena in his ki. I mean, time skip's cool and all, but it won't really do too much when the whole area is being exploded at once. And this attack causes one of two things. Either Hit will have to try and block it and take the attack head on, or he'll have to try and dodge it, which means he might get thrown out of the ring. Hit's smart enough to realize that Broly's trying to push him out, so he'd probably go with the former option since it seems like the best one, and he tries to take the attack head on. However, this doesn't work. It's too powerful and Broly keeps putting more energy into it, and Hit is briefly able to block against it, but eventually he's flung out of the ring, with Broly winning this match and Universe 7 winning the tournament overall. So yeah, there were some changes over here, but overall it's not too different than what you'd normally expect. Too bad Goku and Gohan didn't get to fight though, but they're both glad to see Broly and Goten's progress. Although Gohan is a bit schmiz that he had to reschedule work and not get a chance to fight. It was fun spectating at least. Broly gives a thumbs up to Goku and Gohan, happy about his victory. Now, we switch over to Universe 10. Of course, Zamasu's there, and he's plotting something. He's plotting how to make the best tea for Gowasu. Nothing bad happens. So, why is that? Well, the Universe 6 tournament seemed to be a tipping point for him because of Goku and Vegeta displaying their godly powers. But in this scenario, no godly powers were displayed. It was only Goten, Piccolo, and Broly fighting. And this has a ripple effect. This would mean another timeline version of Zamasu would never attack Trunks, which means Trunks would never travel back in time again, and because Trunks isn't using time travel once again, this also wouldn't anger Zamasu. I mean, he still has a distaste for mortals, but here without Goku displaying his godly powers in the tournament, and without Trunks time traveling, there's no real reason for Zamasu to carry out his Zero Mortals plan. And because of that, it's also good for Trunks because his timeline is safe. So Zamasu stays good, or I guess morally ambiguous, Trunks' timeline reigns in peace, and things in the main timeline continue like normally. Well, at least for a bit. There is still an antagonist lurking about. Ever since he's been revived, Vegeta's begun his conquest of the Frieza Force. He's been training a lot, but he's still no match for Frieza. He knows Frieza's dead, but he's using him as a baseline for his power, because he wants to surpass where Frieza was when he last died. Although, even though he's not around Frieza's level yet, he's still stronger than any other remaining member in the Frieza Force. He's easily able to take control, and he plans to command them towards Earth one day, but not now. He knows all of Frieza's failures, and learning from Frieza's failures on Namek and his return to Earth, Vegeta knows he needs to prepare heavily. His target is Kakarot, and he knows he's too weak right now to do anything. But over this time from his training, he's been doing a lot of it, and through his sheer anger at Kakarot and his disappointment in himself, Vegeta is eventually able to unlock Super Saiyan, which is a really big ego boost for him. He sees how powerful it is, and views it as a nice show of force. It's a look very fitting for a prince. So he works on trying to keep this form maintained at all times, because of how much it suits him and shows off all his power. And because of this, after a few months of intense training and missions, Vegeta inadvertently is able to unlock grade 4 of Super Saiyan, due to his goal of trying to keep it activated at all times, just because he's that good. But still, he realizes that it's nothing to compete with Kakarot, especially with that Super Saiyan God or whatever he has. And he still also doesn't know about Super Saiyan Blue, so then he starts thinking. Tarbo mentioned that for the Super Saiyan God form, there was some ritual done where they had 5 other Saiyans channel their power into Goku. This gets Vegeta's mind racing. Maybe, if he were to revive 5 other Saiyans, not only would this grant him the Super Saiyan God form, but it would mean he could have some extra members of his army. Actually, he only needs 4 now because he has Tarbo. Vegeta then decides that he's going to seek out New Namek to find the Dragon Balls, hoping to gain immortality and possibly resurrecting some old friends if the wishes allow for it. Speaking of Tarble though, back on his planet, he's worried and concerned about his brother. He was hoping that Vegeta would stop with his evil ways and his lust for revenge. They were finally free from Frieza's army, but now it's back because Vegeta took over it? Why do that? Tarble can't do too much about it at the moment, but he does want to try to appeal to his brother. Vegeta's army searches around Universe 7, with Goku and friends oblivious to it all. Scouring the universe, they eventually do arrive at New Namek, and the Namekians of course recognize Vegeta, but he dyed his hair for some reason. With Vegeta knowing about the mistakes of the Frieza Force in the past, he gets the entire army to descend on the planet at once, with small squadrons of soldiers sent to each village, in hopes that they can gather the Dragon Balls quickly. They don't slaughter the Namekians, but they're basically held hostage, in exchange for the Dragon Balls. Namekians don't really have much of a choice, and they eventually get the Dragon Balls stolen from them, with Vegeta using threats of violence to get the Namekians to activate the Dragon Balls later on. Vegeta will now finally get his wish. With Vegeta Force tech, kinda like what Moro used to control one of the Namekians, he's able to control one of them right now as a translator. He asked Porunga for his first wish, make him immortal. The thing is though, he has 2 more wishes, and the Namekian Dragon Balls have been upgraded since last time, kinda like they were in the Buu Saga. And this sets up for a brand new saga, with the Vegeta Force and Vegeta going to Earth, possibly with Tarble stepping in at some point. What should we call the saga? I mean, there's Vegeta Force Saga, we call it the Immortality Saga, Resurrection V? Nah, not that. Come up with some names for this saga below, and with that, we can end this part right here. So what will Vegeta's other 2 wishes be? Will he pursue Super Saiyan God, or is immortality enough for him? How will this arc play out once he arrives on Earth? Leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below, and I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like, and let's try to hit the like goal that I mentioned in the beginning of the video. And if you haven't already, why not subscribe, as well as hitting the bell icon to get notified about any future parts of this What If, or any other videos that I upload on my channel. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.